Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 13 of Listen in 3D. I'm your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka WondrousNet.
And together we are Team 3D, the hosts of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. If you're watching us on YouTube, first and foremost, call to action, like our video. Definitely comment, leave us a comment in the comment section, share it around, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, you want to go one step further, ring that notification bell. That way, you get notifications on when all our videos go live. If this is your first time on the channel, please check out some of our other content. That way, YouTube sees us in your algorithm when you're searching for videos to watch. And we have plenty of content on the channel already and more on the way. With that being said, if you want to email the show, email us listenin3d at gmail.com. And as of the recording of this episode and our previous episodes, we are now on streaming services. We're still trying to work out the kinks with Apple Podcasts, but for the most part, the most popular ones, Spotify, we're there, iHeartRadio, we're there, Amazon Music, we're there, and hopefully some other ones as well. So, with all that out of the way, how you doing, Netta? What's new? Talk
My
to me.
laptop.
Your laptop. You got a new laptop. That's right. You got a new laptop.
So, if you guys were watching in last time, my laptop completely crashed at the end of It Takes a Thief. So, we're hoping it won't happen again this time.
It's all good. Definitely. I mean, I can see resolution looks good. You're not lagging. So yeah, you got a pretty powerful rig there. So you look good. You sound good. Yeah. So that's good. Anyway, we're gonna do something a little different here on Listen in 3D in terms of album types. For the most part, we've just been doing regular LPs. LP standing for long play. So we're gonna do EP. Netta, you want to tell our audience what an EP is?
Sure. EP is kind of just like a happy medium between a single and an album. It's too long to be a single, too short to be an album, so they just call it EP extended play.
All right, so sounds good. So, what extended play EP are we doing today? If you want to get into it.
Today we will be reviewing Ice Cube's Kill at Will. It was released December 13th, 1990. It was certified platinum. It had singles including Endangered Species, Dead Homies, and Jackin' for Beats. There was music videos for Dead Homies and Jackin' for Beats, and there was a guest appearance from Chuck D.
All right, so Ice Cube. This is his second record for the most part. Not second full length album, but second record. I guess you can kind of say that this is a sequel from between his first record, America's Most Wanted, and going into a second one, The Death Certificate. For the most part, the album has a few remixes, a couple new songs, and for the most part, it was just really established him as a solo artist. So once again, when selecting these albums and EPs, we're just putting them all on a generator, and this is the first one that popped up. So uh, 1990 was a big year for Ice Cube. He arguably had the best rap album that year with America's Most Wanted. Album will do soon, and just uh, memories with Ice Cube. Growing up, he was one of my favorite rappers, and I definitely do have some favorites from him. So I do definitely want to explore more of him as this show goes on. So glad to be doing the Kill It Will EP so soon. Anyway, what memories do you have of Ice Cube or his music or anything he's done?
I mostly have memories from Ice Cube that are a little later, like in the mid 90s. I was born in 1990 when this album came out, so I wouldn't have heard this. But I more watched the movies than listening to the music. I was kind of expecting this album to be something in the vein of The Chronic
Hmm.
and Easy Does It,
Yeah. Well,
but I
the
found it to be like somewhere in between the two.
yeah. Well, the thing with the with this album, I mean, this was before G Funk really took off. So I mean, it was '90, so Ice Cube really didn't get his hand on G Funk until say '93 with Lethal Injection. So that was and that was like a little bit like after the Chronic. So that's when like around then like more artists were testing that sound. And he had a different production team, so I mean he wasn't going to get the outstanding production that Dre had. But I know one thing is for certain, he wanted um, he wanted Dr. Dre to produce his first album, but Eazy-E said no after he had left NWA, unfortunately. So they did have one big collab in 1994 with the song "Natural Born Killers." So I mean that's a pretty good song. That was like one of their only collabs after both of them had left NWA. So they were going to do an album together. Unfortunately, it plans didn't go through with that, and the rest is history. But you know, Ice Cube's career is not over. You never know. You might get another Dre produced track, or maybe they might team up to do an album. Who knows? Uh,
Easy was really in charge of these guys like that to be able to say no
he
to
was
Dr. Dre.
he was in charge of Ruthless Records. I mean, he was the CEO. He was the owner. So I mean, yeah. So, I mean, well, after Cube left, I mean, he had no control over him. He could do what he wanted, but I mean, Dre he still had control over until he got out, and we all know how that story unfolded. So,
Yeah.
but all right, enough of the small talk. So, let's get into the artwork and themes. What do you think of the album artwork? It's him with his classic beanie, his classic Jerry curl, pretty much his classic look before he cut his Jerry curl. I think this is like the last album he had it, I believe.
I liked it. I thought it was an interesting choice for him to like, invite you to use the gun instead of,
Yeah,
himself using the gun. He's like, well, you can kill if you want to.
yeah. I like that too. Just like here you go. Like not
Yeah.
like other artists, who are like aiming, like firing at you or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was it was a bit different, so to say the least. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. So we'll get into beats. I mean, I know it's an EP, so we know there wasn't very much to choose from. But what was your favorite beat?
Yeah, like you said, the pickings were slim, but if I had to choose, I guess I would pick Endangered Species just because it was like fast paced and chaotic, and it was the only one that I found like interesting.
Okay. Um, for me, I guess if it was a single beat, it would have to be Jackin' for Beats. Yeah, I guess it'd be Endangered Species, but I really like the blend of Jackin' for Beats. I thought, it was a great blend of just him, what the song says, jacking for beats, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, it had a lot of samples. So, but let's get into it. I guess we can start. We can go in order. Endangered Species. What were your thoughts on that single?
Um, the like I said, the beat was a little chaotic. It was very fast paced. I thought it was interesting that the very first thing he says is he's like, "Peace, don't make me laugh." Like he's just so like appalled that anybody would say, "How about some peace?" He feels like he's or the song indicates, he feels like he's standing in the middle of a war zone and, peace is just not an option. I also like that he said, if I was old, they'd probably be a friend of me. Since I'm young, they consider me the enemy. Because I'm like, oh my God, true. Because, Ice Cube now, in 2023 versus 1990, he's just like a real star.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of scared of Ice Cube. I mean, I think in some of his later works, even like going into the mid '90s, I think he had toned it down a little bit, especially after the Death Certificate. When we do that one, you're just gonna be like, wow. But I mean, yeah, Endangered Species was a really good song. It is a remix because the song is also on his first album. I like how the intro says, it's the old news NBC news anchor Tom Brokaw. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not. Saying, "Good evening. This is Los Angeles, a city with many claims on America, including this one. It is now the gang capital of the nation." So back then, the California's the gang culture, it was no joke. Like, I mean, it was the gang capital for a minute. I don't think it is anymore, but it was, but in the late 80s, early 90s, it was crazy. It really was. And then, I really like that first verse where he says, "Peace, don't make me laugh. All I hear is motherfuckers rapping succotash," So I like how he kicked it off. And then, I think all the bars in the song were pretty good. And then Flavor Flav coming at the end to introduce Chuck D. Standing in the
I
middle
thought
of
I
war.
heard him.
Yeah, that was Flavor Flav. Yeah, yo, Chuck, these devilish people, they're still fronting on us. Yeah, boy, yeah, that should have been obvious. Come on. And then how Chuck D kicks off his verse. That song, it was yeah, Chuck D killed it. Between the remix and the regular version, I did like the remix better. I mean, if you do have some time, definitely check out the regular version of the song. I didn't like the intro of the regular version too much. I think having a Tom Brokaw intro at the beginning was a lot better, in my opinion. Let's see. So let's move on to
I thought it had like a nice. I think the instrument was a guitar at the
yeah,
very end. They had like a guitar just playing.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah. It's a sample of the original Parliament song "Endangered Species."
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. This album did have a lot of samples. And speaking of samples, we're gonna get into some more with the second single, which was, well, actually, no, we'll save that one for last. We're gonna get into Dead Homies next. I believe, yeah, Dead Homies next. Your thoughts on Dead Homies?
mm, I liked it. It was like like a reflection.
Mm,
Why do we only get along when somebody dies? It was. I mean, I guess ostensibly it's like about like the gang life and stuff like that, but it's really highly relatable to anybody who ever like lost somebody.
mm.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's I think it was like the first of its kind, at least here on the West Coast, first of its kind in terms of a R.I.P. song. Now, I think there have been many more R.I.P. songs since then that have been done better. But for what it was at the time, I thought it was nice. Um, let's see. I like the first verse. Up early in the morning, dressed in black. Don't ask why, because I'm down in a suit and tie. So I mean, I do like that part, and I also like you know, they say be strong, and you're trying to be, but how strong can you be when you see your pops crying? Yeah. So it's just, I mean, it doesn't really have to be like gang related or anything. You can lose a loved one in a automobile accident or to like some illness or anything like that. It's I think everyone, aside from like the street content he's talking about, I think everyone can kind of relate to a song like this. Um, as for the music video, I do like how the black reflected the video, but you know me in black and white.
I was gonna ask you about that. What did you think about the black and white music video?
um, I think for it makes sense for what they were trying to do, but in terms of like, um, if it was done today, I think it could be done a lot better. I don't think it needs to be in black and white, quite frankly. But I'll put it like this: it's the best black and white video since we've done this podcast that I've seen so far. If that, if that's what you wanted to hear.
that's, that's not saying that much.
Yeah. No.
I'll take it.
So far, I'm sure we'll come across more music videos that have black and white in them. But
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on the music video?
I liked it. I mean, there wasn't that much going on. Like they're in church.
Mm.
Um, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, for the time, for what the content of the song was, it was good. I mean, not his biggest hit, but audience, if you're watching or listening, just definitely check out Dead Homies. It's a pretty good song, nice touching song. And we go to the last single. Wasn't really sure when these singles premiered, but I just went with whatever my source gave me. I think I just did it alphabetically. Jack and Four Beats. This was interesting. What were your thoughts on this one?
Um, I, I, I didn't really like it that much, but it was kind of funny. I liked when he said, "I don't party and shake my butt. I lay back to the brothers with the funny haircuts." I'm like, is he talking about those guys from House Party at the time? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think so because I think House Party was around. It was pretty popular during that time. So
Yeah, those are the only guys I could think of. But I don't know. I thought it was honestly this is not saying much because I did generally like the EP, but I thought it was probably the worst song on the EP. If I had to let one go, it would have been this one.
okay, fair enough. I think the song was very well done. I mean, I like beats, so definitely sampling. I heard in an interview a while back that this was probably the most expensive song he ever did because he had to pay the samples of the samples of the samples, if that makes sense. Like, for example, one of the samples in the song, the Humpty Dance, whatever they sampled, he had to pay whatever they had to for their samples, if that makes so.
Wow.
This song actually cost him a lot of money. I think if he can go back in time during that time, he probably would have maybe not done the song. But in terms of the song itself, I thought it was a pretty funny song. I mean, I thought it was creative for the time. I mean, I know Jay Z has done his version of Jackin' for Beats, and I'm sure other artists have as well. But I thought it was pretty cool in terms of bars. I don't think. I mean, the lyrics were okay. I mean, I've heard him better lyrically. Let's see. I like the first verse where he pretty much is just saying, "Give me that beat, fool. It's a full time Jack move," and he's pretty much just introducing the rest of his crew, the Lynch Mob, to the world. And let's see. And then the second verse, like, and even if you're down with my crew. And then I think it was a Flavor Flav sample. Yo, Chuck, man, I don't understand this, man. You gotta slow down. And he's like, I jacked them too. And then if you go back to the video,
He's
uh,
knocking somebody out.
well, I think the video was very well done. The video was very well done. I mean, well, it was. I liked it a lot better than Dead Homies, and not just because of the black and white. I think it was just a little more upbeat, a little funnier. Hey,
That's
hey,
what
they,
reminded me of Friday. It was like cinematic.
like he's him chasing a bunch of dudes running around with records. I thought. So I mean, yes. Well, say what you want about the song. You got to admit the video was a little entertaining, but
It was. It was the
it,
best video.
yeah, yeah, running around in that Astro van. Who still has an Astro van? But I mean,
He has like an angry facial expression nearly the entire video. He's like with
well,
his eyebrows down the whole time, like pissed off.
yeah, I thought the video was very well done, especially when he hit the dude like when he was hiding. I jacked him too, and then it was very well done. I gotta give it up to him on that. So anyway, well, that's it for pretty much the singles. Usually at this part of the show, we'll discuss three tracks, but since this is an EP, there's really not much to choose from. So we're gonna go with our favorite track and a runner-up. So we'll start with you, Netta. What was your favorite track, and what was your runner-up?
My favorite was The Product. It kind of reminded me of when Biggie's debut album when he says 10 months in his gut, what the fuck? Because he's like telling about his
Hmm.
conception and I like how he's like giving a sexual education lesson throughout it. He's like one cell made two, two cells made four. He's describing the process of mitosis. He's describing his trip from
Sperm.
yeah, his sperm turning from a white sperm to a young black male. um, I
That's
thought
for
that was very funny. And then he goes on to, talk about his life, like being in school, not getting any
yeah.
good grades. And I thought it was interesting when he said that he once he turned 21, he started like feeling a little empathy for stuff that he was doing, but by that time, that's when he gets sent to prison. And he says, "I'm the motherfucking product." Like the product of his environment, I guess. So I like that song the best.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite song, but I will. I it was another song I wanted to discuss because I thought just the whole story really behind the first verse was just really done like really well. Just talking about how he was a sperm, and then my mama carried me for 9 months, and just and then he's like, "Hey, I'm here, June 15th. It's my luck." In 1969, a nigga is the product. So,
Yeah,
so I mean, I thought that was a pretty interesting song. Kind of reminded me of. I'm not. Are you familiar with the Beavis and Butthead?
yes.
I don't know if you ever saw that movie or not. I think it was in the movie where I guess they're having like flashbacks, and I guess Beavis is having like flashbacks of him being a sperm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta find the clip if I can find it, but it was like him like as a sperm, like it was like a dream sequence, but it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, like, and you're watching that like as a kid or whatever. Oh, that's how it all works.
Yeah, I think like if they had played the product in like a health education class, kid kids would be very receptive to this knowledge.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be a recommendation for our youth of today. Hey, want to know how this works? Go ahead and listen to Ice Cube's The Product.
And then I thought it was funny when he says, "I was told because I didn't witness the whole act." I'm like, well, what, you witnessed some of it? Like, what the heck? You were still a little sperm.
Yeah. So I guess my favorite song, and this was very close. I know you would have, you could have went without it, I guess, but it was very tough. Very, very tough. Jacking for Beats. I just had to go with that one. It was with the whole music sequences and how many samples you used. It's just no one else was doing that at the time. Endangered Species was a very close second. So yeah, it could have even flip flopped, but yeah, it was. I would have to. I'm only really going with that one because of the production, but I mean, I do like the message behind Endangered Species. What was your second in terms of runner up, or if you had one?
I like the "Get off my dick and tell your bitch to come here."
That's funny because I didn't think you would care much for that song. Well, that song it's a remix from America's Most Wanted. But I mean, I didn't really care too much for that song. I mean, but I mean, I understand the concepts behind it. What was going on during that time for the most part. But
I looked at it like almost like, what's the Eminem song where he's like just telling all his fans like, leave me alone. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't do this. I can't do that."
oh
I like that he's like just talking shit to
oh
his fans like, "You
the
can't do
way I
that."
am,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way I
yeah.
am, yeah, the way I am.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. Like it was like Ice Cube's version of that. I like that he's just talking shit to these guys like, "Hey, leave me alone. Like, why are you just the only reason you're chasing me around is, because I'm getting all this money. Like, you want to be in proximity to me." I liked when he was talking shit to these guys. Um and uh I guess that's it. I like the self-awareness of it all.
Self awareness of it all. You know,
Because he's like, when he says, just a year ago, nobody even gave a shit about me, and now everybody's like,
Yeah, Ice Cube took a big risk leaving NWA. So he really had a lot to prove, and he proved it with his first album, and this EP.
was he? Was he really? Nobody really like knew him when he was in
Well,
the group. He was.
people knew him, but it was just like in terms of like back then, staying in a rap group like that, or going solo, you always want to, stay with your rap group. Even Chuck D, I think, talked to him about that too. You got to get with your group, man. But once he said that nothing could be done, Chuck D pretty much helped him with a solo career.
Was it
Uh,
like I like Easy E was Beyonce and Ice Cube was Michelle Williams? Was it that kind of situation?
yeah, Easy E was the man back then.
Okay.
Yeah, Easy E was, yeah. Even though Ice Cube was writing his lyrics, Easy E was. Everyone wanted to be Easy E, if it makes sense.
Hmm.
So
Well, that's good. He came out and did his own thing and a lot more.
yeah, a lot more. Yeah, definitely. He definitely did prove his work and all that stuff. So, but as for me, in terms of, I know it's an EP, but didn't really like JD's Gafflin Part Two a little too much. I thought it was just a senseless skit. That was on his Part One was on his first album, so I believe so. I think it was on one of the songs, and then I gotta say, what's
I thought.
up? Yeah, what were you saying?
I just thought it was so random. He's just like. I didn't even really sense the difference between JD's Gafflin and I gotta say what's up. I had to go back and be like, okay, that ends here, and then I gotta say what's up starts here. But yeah, it was pretty random.
Yeah, I gotta say, what's up? I liked it for the fact that he just shouted out like a lot of the big hip hop acts during that time. I always like a song where other artists, show respect to other artists without, dissing them or anything like that. Kind of like Tupac in the song we did a few episodes back, Old School, where he was talking. Yeah, it was kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So
I was shocked when he was like, "To all the niggas I forgot, y'all ass ain't doing shit anyway." I'm like, "What the?" I thought he was gonna say to everybody I forgot, y'all know you know how
yeah,
they do at the end of
yeah.
a award ceremony, like everybody I forgot, I love you, thank you, thank you. He's like, y'all ain't doing shit.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a jab at NWA because they got him on album I'm about to talk about here in a minute. But and even at the end of Jackin' for Beats, it was also like kind of a NWA diss also. So he did take a few jabs there, but that was because they got him on 100 miles and running. So that's what had happened there. But we'll get into more of that in a minute. So there were no album cuts or expansions, but this 7-track EP does appear on the 2003 reissue of America's Most Wanted. So if you do happen to buy that CD, the 2003 reissue, you'll have 7 extra tracks, which is the Kill It Will EP. So that's something Priority did back at that time. So pretty cool. But otherwise, no like cuts or anything. Well, none that I know of. So in terms of recommendations, we'll go into recommendation number one: Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. That is the first time Ice Cube appeared as a solo artist on any record without NWA. He sung on Public Enemy song "Burn Hollywood Burn." Um, we will do Public Enemy soon. I don't think I have this one on the agenda. We'll definitely get another one on there after we do, well, one of their records, but Public Enemy. So be on the lookout for some Public Enemy. LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out was another album from 1990. I don't think Cube appears on there, but popular, album from 1990 if you were just looking for something hot at the time. Third one I want to highlight is NWA's 100 Miles and Running, which they did Ice Cube on that song. And, it another ironic thing about 100 Miles and Running, it is an EP. So it kind of tells you that EPs were pretty popular in the early 90s. And, we will do some more EPs. So Hopefully, you all enjoy this episode. Now, before we go, closing thoughts on this album, and then we're going to talk about a couple of other things before we go. But closing thoughts on the albums. What tracks you like? Which ones did you not like? Or taking anything back to your playlist, Netta?
I'm taking the product back for sure. It was an interesting album. I thought it was going to be kind of similar to the Chronic and Easy Does It, but he's doing his own thing, and I like it. He's like narrating his life. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, definitely Jacking for Beats and Endangered Species. I did like the product too. That was like if I were to go third place, it'd probably be tied between the product and Dead Homies. All right, so before we go, we've done about 12 of these albums so far. Which one has been your favorite? I meant to ask you this at the beginning of the episode, but I kind of forgot.
My absolute favorite has been DMX. It's dark and hell is hot. I still can't believe it.
Yeah,
Um,
you
because
still
I
bumping
just
that?
wasn't. Yeah, yeah. I still really like it. I heard DMX's singles before, but I had never heard his full work, and he bore his soul in that album, and I love it.
Yeah, I think for me, that would be probably the second place. For me, it had to be the Fugees. That album's just incredible. Uh,
You were sending me fire emojis the whole week.
yeah,
You
yeah,
brought it up.
yeah. It was a good. Yeah, the Fugees was fire. So anyway, guys, what album have you enjoyed us reviewing so far? Anything on this album you want us to discuss? Anything we forgot? Your favorite tracks you didn't like? Please, let's get a discussion going in the comments for Wondrous Netta, or I mean Wondrous Netta. I'm Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool, saying thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next one. Later.